Last week we read chapter 8 and 9 of SataRudrasamhita of the volume 3 of Shivpuran. In this we read that Nandiswara narrated about the story of Bhairava. He told Sanat Kumara that Bhairava is a prior form of Shiva. He narrated an ancient legend that once Brahma was at the Meru mountain and was approached by the celestial sages to enlighten them about who was this sole unchanging entity. Deluded by Maya, Brahma replied that it was him indeed. Hearing this, Vishnu became angry as he was also deluded by Maya and claimed that he was the sole unchanging supreme entity. There was a mutual clash between the two. Both then requested Vedas to intervene and tell them about the truth, and the truth would be acceptable to both. Vedas, who were in embodied form, told them that Rudra was the greatest entity. Both Vishnu and Brahma, still deluded, denounced their words and spoke about Lord Shiva disrespectfully. Then Pranava assumed embodied form and explained it to them that Lord Shiva was indeed the supreme soul, but the ignorant Brahma and Vishnu did not accept it. Then a great flame manifested itself, filling the space between heaven and earth. Rama and Vishnu saw the shape of a huge man in the middle of the flame. Brahma's fifth hand burned with rage. It was Nilaholita, or Lord Shiva, or Rudra. Brahma spoke heartily to him, claiming that Lord Shiva had come from Brahma's forehead. Hearing that, Shiva became angry and created Purusha Bhairava, blazing in brilliance. He was called Bhairava as he had terrifying features, and Kala Bhairava as he was shown like the god of death. Shiva told Brahma that when he would be angry, he would suppress wicked soul, and therefore he would be famous as the sin eater. After receiving all the boons from Shiva, Kala Bhairava cut off Brahma's head with the tip of his nail of the left hand. Seeing this, Vishnu became afraid and repeated SataRudra mantra and eulogized Shiva. Brahma did the same. Both realized that Shiva is the supreme Brahman. Quelling their pride, Lord Shiva became delighted and assured them of his protection. He told Bhairava to honor Vishnu and hold Brahma's skull for atonement. Shiva created a virgin called Brahmatya. He told Bhairava to go wherever she goes until she goes to Varanasi, also called Kasi, where he would be freed from her. Thus, directing Bhairava, Shiva vanished from there. In the next chapter, we read that Bhairava roamed the worlds with the skull in his hand. He went to every holy center but was not let off by Brahmahatya. Once, sporting about Bhairava, went to the abode of Lord Vishnu. He eulogized Bhairava greatly and sang his praise of him to goddess Lakshmi. Lord Vishnu asked Bhairava why he was wandering around the world begging. Bhairava told Vishnu that since he had committed a sin by cutting off Brahma's head with the tip nail of his finger, he had to remove the sin. Vishnu asked Brahmahatya to stop pursuing Bhairava, but she refused. Bhairava was delighted with Lord Vishnu and asked him to request for a boon. Vishnu requested for permanent devotion towards Lord's feet. Blessing Vishnu, Bhairava went to the city of Varanasi. As soon as Bhairava entered the holy center, Brahmahatya felt aggrieved and entered the netherworld. The skull of Brahma fell from Bhairava's hand and the holy center became Kapal Monchana. The skull fell in a trice at Kasi. Hence, Kasi shall always be resorted for shedding of evil. Today, Meda Auntie will be reading chapter 10, the narrative of Manlian, and chapter 11, prologue to Srabada's incarnation. There will be no Hindi reading today. Bahut bahut shukrana.
Jai Guruji, everybody. Thank you for the Seva, Guruji. Chapter 10, The Narrative of Man-Lion. Nandishvara said, "The destroyer of Daksha's sacrifice, Virabhadra, shall be known as an incarnation of Lord Shiva, the Great Soul. His narrative has been mentioned in the episode of Sati. You too have heard it several times. Hence, it is not mentioned in detail. O excellent sage, now by my affection to you, I shall narrate the Sharadula incarnation of Lord Shiva. Listen. For the benefit of the gods, the wonderfully divine form of Asharabha, the mythical animal with 8 legs and capacity of killing lions, of blazing fire-like luster, was assumed by Lord Shiva. O excellent sages, Shiva's incarnations are countless and conducive to the benefit of good devotees. Their number cannot be counted or specified. The number of the stars in the sky, of the sand particles on the earth, and of the bursting showers of heavy rain can be specified by intelligent persons at some time in the course of many births over many kalpas, but not of the incarnations of Shiva. Know my words to be true. Still in accordance with my intelligence, I shall mention, exactly as I had heard, the divine story of Sharabha portending grace prosperity. O sage, when Jaya and Vijaya were cursed by you, they became the sons of Diti and Kashyap. These 2 attendants, the celestial sages, were born as Diti's sons. The elder was Hiranyakashipu, and the younger was Hiranyaksha, the very powerful. Formerly, Lord Vishnu was requested by Brahma to uplift the earth. He assumed the form of a boar and slew Hiranyaksha. O sage, on hearing that his heroic brother, as dear to him as his very vital breath, was killed, Hiranyakashipu became furious with Vishnu. He performed penance for 10,000 years and propitiated Brahma, from whom he obtained the desired boon. None of your creations shall kill me. He left for Shonita. He challenged the gods everywhere. He put the 3 worlds in his control and had an unrivaled rule over it. O sage, Hiranyakashipu harassed the gods and the sages. He violated all virtuous rites. He oppressed Brahmins and became a sinner. When the king of the Daityas hated his own son, Prahlad, Vishnu became his particular enemy. O sage, Vishnu then came out from a pillar in a hall at dusk in the body of a man-lion with great fury. O great sage, the body of the man-lion was very terrible in every respect. It blazed frighteningly and terrified the leading Daityas. The Daityas were killed in a trice by the man-lion. Hiranyakashipu fought a terrible battle. O excellent sages, a great fight ensued between them for some time. It was terrifying, frightening, and caused horripilation to everyone. The Lord of Gods, Lord of Lakshmi, the man-lion, dragged the leading Daitya to the threshold even as the gods were watching in the sky. While the gods were watching, he placed the Daitya on his lap and immediately tore open his stomach with his claws and killed him. When Hiranyakashipu was killed by the man-lion Vishnu, the whole universe attained normalcy and peace. But the gods did not derive any special comfort. The celestial drums were sounded. On seeing the wonderful form of Vishnu, Prahlad was surprised. Lakshmi was in a state of suspense. Though the Lord of Daityas was killed, yet gods did not derive any pleasure. The fury of the man-lion did not subside. The entire universe was again excited by that fiery splendor. The gods were miserable. Saying, "What will happen now?" they kept themselves at a safe distance from fear. The lotus-born deity and others were excited by the fiery fury of the man-lion. They sent Prahlad near Vishnu in order to subside his anger. At the behest of all, in a body, Prahlad approached the man-lion. The man-lion, the storehouse of mercy, embraced him. The heart became cool, still the flame of fury did not subside. When it did not subside, the afflicted and miserable gods sought refuge in Shiva. Going there, Brahma, other gods, and the sages eulogized Shiva for the happiness of all the worlds. The gods said, "O great Lord of Lords, favorably disposed towards those who seek refuge, save us, the gods, who have sought refuge in you, as well as all worlds. Obeisance be to you, O Sadashiva. Wherever there had been misery formerly, it was you that saved us. The ocean was churned, and the gems were shared by the gods. Then, O Shiva, poison was taken by you. We were saved by you, O Lord, and you became famous as Nilakanta, blue-necked. If you had not drunk the poison then, everything would have been reduced to ashes. This is well known, O Lord, that whenever a person is in misery, by repeating your very name, the misery is quelled. O Sadashiva, we are now afflicted by the fiery fury of the man-lion. O Lord, it is certain that you are competent to quell it." Nandishvara said, "Thus eulogized by the gods, Lord Shiva, favorably disposed to the devotees, assured them of protection, and spoke delightedly. Shiva said, O ye Brahma and other gods, return to your abodes fearlessly. My right quells misery in every respect. The misery of the person who seeks refuge in me vanishes. Undoubtedly, the seeker of refuge is dearer to me than life. Nandishvara said, on hearing this, the gods were delighted much. Remembering Shiva joyously, they returned. Chapter 11, Prologue to Sharabha Incarnation. Nandishvara said, thus implored by the gods, Lord Shiva, the abode of mercy, decided to quell that great fiery fury of Man-Lion. Thereafter, Rudra remembered the powerful Virabhadra, the cause of dissolution, and addressed Bhairav as his own form. Then suddenly there came the leader of the Ganas, laughing loudly and accompanied by the leading Ganas, laughing boisterously and jumping about here and there. He was surrounded by crores of fierce man-lion-formed Ganas, madly dancing heroes, joyously leaping about. The warlike heroes, Brahma, and others were playing about as if with balls. The leader of the Ganas was surrounded by others too, who had remained unseen. He was respected by the heroes. He had a fiery splendor, as fierce as the fire at the end of the Kalpa. His 3 eyes shone splendidly. He had no weapon. He had matted hair. He was bedecked by the refulgent crescent moon. He had 2 sharp fangs curved like the crescent moon. His eyebrows were like the split pieces of Indra's bow. With his fierce hissing, whooping sound, deafened the faces of the courtiers. He was as dark as the blue cloud and Koralim. He was terrible and wondrous, with full gown, mustaches, and beards. He was whirling his trident of unsplit luster like a piece of musical instrument over and over again. The Lord Virabhadra arrived, with his heroic strength fully expanded. He said to Shiva, O Lord of the universe, why have I been remembered by you? Please do me a favor and command me. Nandishvara said, on hearing the words of Virabhadra and glancing at his face respectfully, Lord Shiva, the chastiser of the wicked, said lovingly. Shiva said, an untimely, terrible fear has cropped up for the gods. The fire of that man-lion is blazing. You shall quell this inaccessible one. At the outset, convince him in a consoling manner. If he does not subside thereby, show my great terrible form. O Virabhadra, at my behest, bring me his head, and hide after quelling his subtle fury with your subtle one, and his gross splendor with your gross one. Nandishvara said, urged thus, the leader of the Ganas assumed a calm body and features, and hastened to the place where the man-lion was sitting. Then Virabhadra, the destroyer, addressed Vishnu. Shiva then spoke to him as a father speaks to his own son. Virabhadra said, O Lord Vishnu, you have taken the incarnation for the happiness of the universe. You, the great Lord, have been entrusted with the task of maintaining the universe by Shiva. Formerly, multitudes of creatures moving about in the vast ocean have been split by your lordship in the form of a fish by binding them with your tail. You support the earth in the form of a tortoise. You lifted it up in the form of a boar. In the form of a lion, Hiranyakashipu has been killed. Again, in the form of a dwarf, you had bound Bali. You are the origin of all living beings. You are the eternal Lord. Wherever any misery torments the world, you incarnate yourself and make it free from distress and ailment. O Vishnu, there is none else devoted to Shiva more than you or even equal to you. The Vedas and sacred rites have been established by you towards an auspicious goal. That Danava, Hiranyakashipu, has been killed, for which purpose you have taken this incarnation. Prahlad too has been saved. O Lord Narsin, O soul of the universe, subdue this extremely terrible body yourself in my presence. Nandishvara said, urged thus with quiet, peaceful words of Virabhadra, the arrogant man-lion assumed a more terrible anger. O sage, threatening the heroic Virabhadra with his curved fangs, he spoke harsh and terrible words. The man-lion said, go back the way you have come from. Do not speak offending words. I am now going to annihilate the universe of the mobile and immobile beings. The annihilation is not the withdrawal of myself, by myself, or through others. I have my sway everywhere. There is none to rule over me. Everything functions fearlessly by my favor. I am the instigator as well as the restrainer of all powers. O leader of the Ganas, whatever is endowed with magnificence, whatever is glorious and powerful, know that to be my expanded splendor. They know me, the knower of the reality of the divinity, as the greatest. Brahma, Indra, and other gods are powerful in as much as they are my own parts. Brahma, the creator of the universe, who was formerly born of my umbilical lotus, is greater than all, being independent, maker, remover, and the Lord of all. This is my greatest glory. What else do you wish to hear again? Hence, seek refuge in me and return to your abodes, being freed from feverish ailment. O Lord of Ganas, know that the entire universe of this nature is my own. This universe, including the gods, asuras, and human beings, is the manifestation of my greatness. I am Kala, the cause of destroying the worlds. I am engaged in annihilating the worlds. O Virabhadra, know me to be the death of death. These gods are alive by my very favor. Nandishvara said, on hearing the arrogant words of Vishnu, Virabhadra, of immeasurable exploits, laughed and said contemptuously with throbbing lips. Virabhadra said, don't you know the Pinaka-bearing Lord of the universe as the annihilator? Baseless argument and disputation will end in death for you. What other incarnation of yours is left still to be taken, with that, whatever it may be, you will remain alive only in the story? Tell me the defect which has led you to this plight. With that Lord capable of annihilation, you will get the balance of Dakshina. Your Prakriti and Rudra is Purusha. The semen is deposited in you. The five-faced Brahma was born of your umbilical lotus. Remaining in a severe penance, he contemplated on Shiva, the blue-necked, in his forehead for the creation of the three worlds. Shiva came out of his forehead. I am the ornament of the Lord of the gods in form of Bhairav in the matter of creation. O Vishnu, I have been engaged in subduing you either through humility or through force by Rudra, the Lord of the gods, the Lord of all. After tearing to pieces a single demon, you roar by your arrogance. Actually, you are free from slumber only because you are endowed with a digit of his power. Help rendered to good men is accepted as conducive to happiness. Help rendered to bad men is conducive to offense. O Narsin, if you consider Lord Shiva as a mere living being, you are ignorant, very arrogant, and full of aberrations in every respect. O base Narsin, you are neither creator, nor sustainer, nor annihilator. You are subservient and deluded in mind. You are not independent anywhere. O Vishnu, like the potter's wheel, you are forcibly induced by Shiva when you take the different incarnations. You are always dependent on him. Your skull, left by you in the midst of the necklace of Shiva, while you had assumed the form of a tortoise, is still there. None who is burnt is bound. It is your partial forgetfulness that in your body as a boar, your fangs were felled by the slayer of Taraka. You were burnt by the fire of the trident, O Vishvaksena. At the time of Daksha's sacrifice, your head was cut off by me, brilliant in form. O Vishnu, the fifth head of Brahma, your son, which was cut, has not been set right even now. It is forgotten by you. In a battle, you were defeated by Dadika, along with the gods. How can it be forgotten by you while scratching your head? O discus-armed one, you are fond of your discus, but you have forgotten whence you got it and by whom it was made. Whatever worlds I have seized, in them you lie down in the ocean overcome by sleep. How can you then be a sattvika? From you to a blade of grass, everything expands and develops only through Rudra's power. Professing to possess power, you have been deluded by the fire all round. Ordinary man is incapable of seeing the greatness of his splendor. That is the greatest of the regions of Vishnu, which only the people of subtle intellect can perceive. Lord Shiva manifests himself in between heaven and earth, Indra and Agni, Yama and Varuna, in the heart of darkness and in the light of the moon. You are Kala, but Lord Shiva is Mahakala, and Kalakala. Hence, you will be death of death only through Shiva's digit. But the steady one today is the imperishable hero, the Lord Protector of the universe. He is the destroyer of fever, a dreadful beast, a golden bird. You and the four-faced Brahma are not the rulers of the world, nor anyone else is the ruler. Shiva is certainly the ruler of all. Thus, taking everything in consideration, you subdue yourself by yourself. O man-lion, O wise one, keep yourself safe, otherwise death will befall you like a thunderbolt on a stump due to the fury of the Lord in the form of Vairava. Nandishvara said, after saying this and observing the view of the man-lion, Virabhadra, the furious form of Shiva, stopped. He was not afraid of anyone. Jai Guruji, this concludes chapters 10 and 11.